Chad Kelly throws an awesome pass to Demoria's Stringfellow. All that and more right here on Rebel Watch.
I'm Ross Bjork, the Ole Miss Athletics Director, and you're watching Rebel Watch.
Are you ready?
Welcome to Rebel Watch. I'm your host, Faith Fogarty, and today is Ladies' Day at the desk. I have here with me Abbie, McIntosh, and Daniella Oropeza. Are you ladies ready to show the boys how it's done?
Oh, heck yeah. Definitely.
Okay, ladies, let's jump right into it. This past weekend, the Ole Miss Rebels took on Memphis, and it was a revenge game for the Rebs. Opening up, we have Jason Pellerin with a 1-yard rush touchdown, giving Ole Miss that lead 7-0.
And Memphis quarterback Riley Ferguson throwing an interception caught by Cedric Woods, who returns it for a 31-yard touchdown. Ole Miss goes up 14-0.
And again, Jason Pellerin with a 3-yard rush for a touchdown, putting Ole Miss up 24-7.
Eugene Brasley now with a 6-yard rush touchdown, and he was just on fire this game, you guys. He gave Ole Miss a lead, 41-21.
And again, Eugene Brasley with a 32-yard rushing touchdown, which eventually makes your final score Ole Miss 48, Memphis 28.
Now, Abbie, Ole Miss third quarter. It looks like they were yet again going to let a team sneak up on them. What was different about the Rebels' approach this year?
I think the Rebels had last year's game in the back of their mind, and like you said, it was a revenge game. Last year they blew the lead against Memphis, and they've already blown the lead 2 times this year against Florida State and Alabama. I just don't think they were going to let that happen again, and they came out and did what they needed to do.
And Daniella, what do the Rebels need to improve on during this bye week?
Well, we've seen the Rebels take outstanding leads against teams like Florida State or Alabama, and then these teams come out of nowhere with the win. And so I really think it's important that the Rebs focus on their defense this break. And as far as the run game is concerned, the Rebels just need to continue to remain as balanced as possible to help keep Chad Kelly upright when they drop back to pass the ball.
Now, Scout.com reporter Sudu Upadea joins us on the phone right now. Let's hop right into it. Sudu, what do you think of Jason Rapella's increased role on the offense for the Rebels?
Yeah, I think they needed to do that. Obviously, Chad's kind of the heart of that offense, and they need to get a running game going. So I think they tried to do that with Chad, but they're still a little scared, I think, just because the season's still kind of early. They don't want to get him that banged up. Jason, on the other hand, that's sort of his specialty. While Chad's a really skilled runner, you need him to be the quarterback. Jason's a good backup, especially with Shea probably redshirting. To get in there, get some of those, reps on the ground, keep things kind of mixed up because Ole Miss hasn't been able to consistently run the ball with the running backs. So having him in there and not risking a chance of injury with Chad, I think that's why, Jason's seen those increases, and I think you're going to see even more as the season kind of wears on.
Hey, Sudu, this is Abbie McIntosh. How has Ole Miss as a team grown with all the ups and downs they have had the first 5 weeks?
I think the biggest thing is they know their identity now. I think Hugh early in the season was sort of trying to be a game manager when they had the lead without realizing that maybe his defense wasn't, up to par, just not as skilled yet. They have some talented guys in that back end, but because the offense moves so fast, they tend to get tired and they're still young, and so teams were able to come back. I think Hugh finally realizes now you have to have the gas the whole game. It's offense, 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 and if your defense gives up some points, it's fine. The offense has to outscore the other team. I think that's what they learned after the losses against Florida State and Alabama. So now you saw it against Georgia. They kept it going against Memphis. I think you're going to continue to see them increase their offense and how fast they get throughout the game instead of sort of managing it until they have that full lead where they feel comfortable. They're going to keep on going.
Hi, Sudu. This is Daniella Oropeza. Ole Miss had a great 2016 recruiting class. How is your 2017 recruiting classing shaping up?
Well, obviously there's a lot of questions about the recruiting class, and the NCAA investigation is the biggest dark cloud hanging over everything. I think if that wasn't here, if that had already ended, Ole Miss would be racking in 4- and 5-star recruits right now. That's what's impeding some of these commitments are happening. You're seeing a lot more 3-stars, a lot more JUCO kids, who Ole Miss is highly evaluated, but still, it's not the same star power of recent years. and that has to do with the NCAA investigation. Coaches cannot go into these recruits' homes right now and tell them anything certain because they don't know. I mean, the NCAA is sort of playing a game with Ole Miss, and Ole Miss really has no answers. So as of now, I think Ole Miss definitely, Cam Akers probably is still favoring the Rebels. He's a big family guy. He loves his parents. He wants to kind of stay close to home. As of this moment, I would say Cam Akers to Ole Miss. Now, C.J. Avery, that's one that I can't really answer. And there's a lot of recruits like that right now. I think the ones that got committed will hold still with them, but the ones that haven't, it's a question mark, and that has to do with the NCAA investigation.
Thanks so much for joining us, Sudu. Coming up, things got a little messy for the Commodores when they traveled to Ripley. Keep it locked on Rebel Watch.
One of the things that we know about reading, particularly in the K through 3 area, is that's when you are learning to read. Then we know that once you hit 3rd grade, that's when you're reading to learn.
When parents spend time with their kids, those kids tend to be more and more successful.
Being a strong reader, it impacts our state's economy, and it also ensures that our students are able to have meaningful lives.
I remember as a small boy from Moorhead, Mississippi, the rest of the world became alive when I started reading.
My name's Reggie. Just recently, my wife and I took in her sister's children. Now, we already had 4, so I went from becoming a family man to a man with a bigger family. Now, you can't eat love, so I don't know how I'm gonna feed them tonight. How was that, Rich?
I think I look more like Denzel.
That's cold, man.
It's Hunger Action Month, so click share below to pass along this video and play your role in ending hunger.
Now, the Lafayette Commodores continued their winning streak this weekend against the Ripley Tigers at Ripley. Let's roll the highlights. Like I said, Lafayette Commodores and the Ripley Tigers opened up Region 2 play in Ripley last Friday. Lafayette quarterback Will Ard trying to lead the Commodores to their 4th straight win.
Now we've got Ripley's cornerback Owen Childs, who runs it in for a touchdown from 5 yards out. Ripley definitely took advantage of the Commodores' slow offensive start.
Next, Brandon Turnage takes an interception back 68 yards for the touchdown. This changed the momentum in favor of Lafayette. This guy was unstoppable, and he doesn't just stop at the end zone. This touchdown puts the Commodores on the scoreboard, tying the game at 7-7.
Now we have a Ripley parent escorted off field right before halftime. She came across the field yelling at Lafayette players and fans as well as officials. And you guys, she just looked so mad.
Yes, she did. And now...
Not happy at all.
No, she's not. Lafayette's offense finally woke up. Jamie Shaw with a 4-yard touchdown run, which put the Commodores up 21-7.
Then Jamarcus Quarles makes a 78-yard run for a touchdown. This guy was flying into the end zone and doesn't stop there and runs into the fence. That's how fast he was going.
Ripley trying to make a comeback here with a touchdown pass from 12 yards out to Josh Johnson. He's pushing his way to the end zone and he scores. These guys are so excited. They're celebrating and he's going to hit the dance move right here.
And Ripley makes a last-ditch effort, but is stopped on 4th down, making the final score 28-14. Let's go to the post-game report with Max McCann.
I'm here for the RebelWatch post-game report. I'm Max McCann, joined here by Brandon Turnage. Brandon, you know, y'all were struggling in offense in the first half tonight. Your pick six obviously gave your team momentum going into the second half. Walk us through that play a little bit, you know, what you saw and how it felt to score that touchdown.
Well, we was playing deep, and like I seen the pass coming, so I broke on the ball, and I was kind of confused because I didn't know whether he was going to catch or not, so I was waiting to tackle him. And I seen the ball, I tipped it, I had to tip it down to myself, caught it, took it home.
Well, hey, man, that was a nice play. And, you know, also, you know, y'all obviously had a big win tonight, first region game. What do y'all have to continue doing moving forward to, you know, eventually make the playoffs and make a run?
You got to keep working hard. 3 hours of practice every day. That's getting us there.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. All right, you can catch Lafayette next Friday at 7 o'clock against Rosa Fort at home. For the RebelWatch postgame report, I'm Max McCann.
All right, Abby, Lafayette started off really slow in the first half, but after Brandon Turnage's pick six, things really started picking up. Why do you think the Commodores struggled at first?
I think the Commodores thought they were taking on an easier team when they were playing Ripley, but Ripley came out and gave them a little bit of a struggle at first, but I think it took that pick six to really get the momentum going for Lafayette. But I just thought they thought Ripley was going to be an easy team and not in an easier game, but it turned out to be a little bit of a challenge for them.
And Daniella, Lafayette is now on a 4-game win streak. What do the Commodores have to do to continue this momentum?
Well, I think it's important that within any team, everyone plays their part and everyone tries to stand out. Jamarcus Quarles does not just make the team, and neither does Will Ard nor Tyler Carmichael Williams. And so with these guys wouldn't have come as far as they have, or wouldn't have done as well as they had these guys not worked together and had they not had the guidance of new head coach Michael Fair.
Now the Oxford Chargers put on an offensive show over the Saltillo Tigers this past weekend in Oxford. Let's roll the highlights. These guys look fierce. They're coming out ready to play.
Look at number 67. He is ready for the fall weather with all those layers.
They just look tough. Hiram Wallington opening yards, 1-yard touchdown, giving Oxford that lead 7-0.
And Saltillo's quarterback fumbles the ball, which is recovered by the Chargers, who run it in for a 50-yard touchdown. Oxford goes up 14-0 early on, and here you can see him just celebrating, going up by 2 touchdowns.
Next, J.R. McClure passes the ball to wide receiver Barry Flowers for a 75-yard pass. This guy is flying into the end zone, keeping the Chargers in the lead at 21-0.
He keeps going, and he manages to find the end zone.
Now we have Hiram Wallington again with a 3-yard rush touchdown, giving Oxford that strong lead 28-0.
J.R. McClure with a 25-yard touchdown pass to Demaria Burt. Oxford continues the dominance and goes up 35-0. A little bit of celebration there again.
And finally, John Meeker, backup quarterback, passes the ball to Barry Flower once again for another touchdown. Flowers is definitely a key player in this game. And now we have your final score with Oxford 42 against Saltillo with 0 points. Now let's take it to the post-game report with Kelsey Davis.
I'm Kelsey Davis. Welcome to the RebelWatch post-game report here at Oxford, where the Oxford Chargers just took on the Saltillo Tigers. I'm here with Hiram Wadlington. Hiram, you had a great night. This is a really big bounce-back win for you guys. How do you think it gives you confidence going forward?
It gave us a lot of confidence because last week against West Point, we came out great, and we basically lost in the fourth quarter. We was 8-7 going to the fourth quarter. So we just felt like we had a point to prove this week, and from now on, we playing with a chip on our shoulder. We feel like no one can stop us if we play our game and execute, and that's what we did tonight.
Right, and you're talking about how you executed tonight, and you really executed on the offense. How does that give you momentum going forward? What do you need to do to keep that offensive momentum up?
That's big because now we don't have to rely on our defense as much, and we can keep them off the field if they keep trusting in us and we keep making big plays. So that's big. That's going to be big down the long run. And the more players step up on the offense, the more the defense have to worry about us.
All right, Hiram, and about the only thing you didn't execute tonight was that Gatorade bath. What happened, man? Your coaches outran you.
Yeah, he called us. He called us out.
All right, well, thanks so much, Hiram. Big win for Oxford, 42-0 here at Johnny Holka Stadium. For RebelWatch, I'm Kelsey Davis.
Now, Abby, as you can see, the Oxford offense completely dominated the ball throughout the game. What do you think went right for these guys?
I think Oxford was just in their groove, and they were just meshing well before going into this game. They were 2-3. They really needed that win, and they obviously got it. They're 3-3. I just think they were just meshing, and they were just working together, and they were just taking control of that Saltillo defense and just running all over the place.
And Daniella, this win snaps a 2-game losing streak. Do you think it's too early to say the Chargers are turning their season around?
You know, that's really hard to say. They've won against teams with not so great records, like Saltillo was only 1-4 going into this game, and they've also lost against teams with winning seasons. And so I'm no psychic, but if I had to choose, I would probably say not.
And after the commercials, we'll be talking to Oxford basketball star Jarkel Joyner. You won't want to miss it.
One of the things that we know about reading, particularly in the K through 3 area, is that's when you are learning to read. Then we know that once you hit 3rd grade, that's when you're reading to learn.
When parents spend time with their kids, those kids tend to be more and more successful.
Being a strong reader, it impacts our state's economy, and it also ensures that our students are able to have meaningful lives.
I remember as a small boy from Moorhead, Mississippi, the rest of the world became alive when I started reading.
My name's Reggie. Just recently, my wife and I took in her sister's children. Now, we already had 4, so I went from becoming a family man to a man with a bigger family. Now, you can't eat love, so I don't know how I'm gonna feed them tonight. How was that, Reg?
I think I look more like Denzel.
That's cold, man.
It's Hunger Action Month, so click share below to pass along this video and play your role in ending hunger.
Oxford High School basketball guard Jarkel Joyner is shining bright with many college ball offers this year. Fred Nettles has the story.
I have here with me Coach Drew Tyler of Oxford High School, and again, Jarkel Joyner. Coach, I have a couple questions for you. Just tell me a little more about the development of Jarkel over the years and just how he's grown as a player overall, as well as a teammate.
Right. Well, he's going into his senior year now, and he's pretty much started since a 9th grader. So he's been in our program, and he has, what he's bringing to our program now. Not only is he leading through his performance, but he's a verbal leader, and he's not just helping the upperclassmen. I mean, he's got time to help 9th graders. So he is Oxford basketball, and as far as his development within our program, he's the guy that comes early and stays late, and it shows. It shows through his practice play, his game play, and it's led to college offers, and he's gonna have his education paid for. And he's one of the best players, if not the best, that I've ever had in my 24 years here.
All right, thank you, Coach. And Jarkel, what do you have to say about what Coach just had to say about you as a player and as a teammate?
First of all, Coach Tyler is my second dad, basically, man. Anything I need help on, he helped me on it, man. My schoolwork, even with just family problems, he's like my second dad. And I come in the gym, get some work, and he work me out anytime. And it's just a blessing to have someone like him as my coach, and it's just like a mentor to me. He's just like my second dad.
You can catch the Oxford Chargers as they open up season play on November 8th as they travel to Calhoun City, who was a 2A juggernaut themselves, and as the Chargers look to get back to the big house in Jackson, Mississippi. Thank you.
So y'all, Jarkel is the second best player in Mississippi, and he is an elite scorer with offers from the likes of TCU, Cal State, Bakersfield, Middle Tennessee State, and others. Which program do you guys think best suits his skill set?
Look, Jarkel is not the biggest guard on that floor, but his speed, quickness, and ability to create shots from anywhere on the floor makes him the player that he is. Him being an Oxford native, I think Ole Miss could be the best fit for him, especially with him playing the same position as Stephon Moody. Obviously, Moody is gone, so I could see him following in Moody's footsteps and headed to Ole Miss.
Well, the college decision is always a tough one to make, especially when you're deciding between a larger basketball program versus a smaller basketball program where you can definitely stand out. And I think that with former Ole Miss head coach Rod Barnes being at Cal State, Bakersfield, that's also going to make it a tough decision. And that decision in total is just a tough decision for anyone to make.
Now, last season, Oxford High School finished in the top 8 in the state quarterfinals, losing to Wayne County for the second straight year in a row. What do y'all think Jarkel can do to help his team get over this hump and get to the Oxford State Championships?
You know, I think he can continue to put up big numbers in games like he has, and he can continue to lead the team. Obviously, basketball is a team sport. It's not a one-man show, so he can't do it all on his own, but he can definitely continue to put up those big numbers, be a leader, and just help his team out.
Like I said before, it's a team effort. I definitely think Jarkel can stand out as a leader, but overall these guys are just going to have to work together to beat Wayne County maybe for the first time in a while.
I think they could do it if definitely they just work together.
Oh yeah.
Sam Kendricks represented Ole Miss at the Olympics in Rio this past summer and won a bronze medal, but the bigger story is when Kendricks stopped mid-stride, dropped his pole, and stood at attention while the national anthem played. Kendricks was in town this past weekend, and this is what he had to say.
Former Ole Miss Rebel and Olympic bronze medalist Sam Kendricks was in town this past Tuesday to answer questions from fans and talked about how he got his start in pole vaulting.
We coached a number of kids at the high school. I said, Sam, let's get one of these little pink girls' poles and let's start pole vaulting. And he was about 5'6", 90 pounds. And we had a girl's pole that was just the right size for Sam. I think it was a 10'90". And he started jumping on that 10'90", and he started picking it up, and pretty soon he was getting better and better.
Sam got an early start in pole vaulting, and the road to Rio started while still in college.
Well, athletes and people around the Olympics throw out that term road to Rio a lot, and I think that I have to learn from my coach here that our road to Rio started when I forgoed my final season with Rebels, because we saw that we have the potential, and it kind of turned in from an Olympic dream into an Olympic plan. And so each stage of the journey, each collection of meat was really honing the axe, as Coach K would say, making that edge sharper to really prepare me for the games.
Sam even put to rest the rumors about the Olympic Village.
But we heard all these rumors, right? That the water is so terrible. It's not quite done yet. It wasn't quite as bad as everybody heard of Sochi back in the day, but nothing's ready for the athletes. And I said, well, you know, I've lived the barracks life for quite a deal of time in my day. I think I'll be okay when it comes down to roughing it in the village. So, you know, I packed my whoopee, my poncho liner, my filter bottle, about 10 pounds of snacks. He says, oh, okay, for 5 days before I can beat, I'll be all right. And we got down there, and it was nice. You know, it was like an apartment village. 17 floors for each building. Every building that you see when you walk in is accentuated with Rio 2016, got the beautiful greens and the hues.
For RebelWatch, I'm Abbie McIntosh.
And what a great story about Sam Kendricks. And now it's time for us to bring to you the top 5 plays of the week. Now we have number 5, Ripley's wide receiver, Alex Fox, makes a leaping grab. What an awesome catch for this kid.
And at number 4, Chad Kelly hands it off to running back Eugene Bradley for a short touchdown. Bradley just runs over that Memphis defense, making it look so easy. Definitely a reason to celebrate the way he is.
Number 3, Barry Flowers from Oxford with a 75-yard touchdown run. He is still going, still going. Some defenders manage to catch up to him, and he even gets tripped up a little bit, but he still manages to find the back of the end zone. And even a little celebration right there.
Now we have Brandon Turnage's pick 6 for Lafayette. This play really helped get Lafayette's offense get started. He's going to keep on running all the way to the end zone. No one's even going to be able to catch up to him. And as soon as he hits that end zone, he's going to keep running. This kid is so excited. What an awesome play.
And at number 1, defensive tackle DJ Jones makes a flying interception. Look at that big fella jump. He's super pumped, and I would be too, knowing I made the top play of the week.
And that is all we have for you guys today. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter at @Rebel_Watch and watch us on Maxwell Sports Channel 31. Have a good day.